Loud thumping against thick steel echoes throughout the metallic hallway of an advanced space station as red emergency lights flash in the pitch-black darkness. From afar, the clanging of oncoming footsteps against the grated floor are overtaken by the sound of a man panting profusely, running for his life. The man desperately dashes to the door at the end of the hallway, only stopping in place as he hits the sealed entrance. He glances behind himself every other second, fumbling with the security keypad, entering the 6-digit code as quickly as he can, while his hands tremble with fear.
Come on, come on.
Finally entering the code correctly, the pressurized doors slide open. A wave of relief washes over his face, but only for a moment. He spins around quickly, shock returning to his eyes. He stares on in horror as the monstrosity quickly approaching, before sprinting into the open room. Acting on instinct, he reaches to the floor to grab a loose pipe, wailing it against the keypad on his side of the door. The pipe remains lodged in the wall, stuck amongst all of the shattered keys. Sparks and smoke fly out in all directions, causing the doors to quickly shut. The creature's scream seeps through from behind the doors. The man's fear drains from his entire body once again, and he falls back against the wall in exhaustion. He's finally safe, at least for the time being. After taking solace in the brief moment of peace, he is again reminded of his dire situation, as his eyes glance across the other side of the room, catching sight of a large computer. He lifts himself back up quickly as he approaches the machine. It's badly damaged, the screen covered in cracks, and wires of all sizes flooding out from its torn sides. Frantically typing a line of code on the keypad, he bangs on the middle of the screen with his palm. An assortment of different colors flash on the broken monitor before starting to resemble a desktop of sorts.
Oh, thank God. Now, I need to record this as quickly as I possibly can. All right, hello. My name is Malcom Danver. I'm sending this SOS message out to anyone who can possibly hear it. But I don't have a lot of time. I'm sending this from the colony of the 6th New Earth Exploration Fleet, codenamed Pantheon. We're stranded. We had to make an emergency landing, but there's nobody here to help us. The planet is desolate from what we can tell. You should be able to track the exact coordinates from the message, but please, I need to advise extreme caution. If you're coming to help, then you need to bring as many people as you can. Bring a whole fleet, an army if possible. We're a crew of about 30, but it wasn't from the crash. These creatures, whatever they are, they killed almost everyone. I've never seen anything like them. I watched them tear this ship to shreds like it was paper, like something from the pits of hell. But I'm begging you, please, we have children on board. And if it was...
Malcom pauses for a moment, reaching into his coat pocket as he slowly lifts out an old photograph. A young girl, her smile stretching from ear to ear, looks back at the distraught Malcom from inside the corners of the picture. Her joy grants him a brief moment of reflection. Wiping away a growing tear at the corner of his eye with the back of his hand, Malcom places the photo back into his pocket.
I know that it's a tough universe out there nowadays, but if you, listening to this right now, can just get this message out to someone, to anybody that might be able to help. This message is my death warrant. The best that I can hope for right now is to starve to death in this damn room. So please, just make this mean something. And send some help. This is Malcom Danver, signing out.
Malcom slowly backs away from the computer, watching the message send, and the machine completely shut down. He stares forward with a blank expression for a moment, before his attention is slowly pulled upward. as the ventilation grate attached to the room ceiling begins to rattle. He slowly peers upward, the expression of dread returning to his face once again.
No. Oh no, please, no. I'm begging you, don't!
Tears stream down his face as he watches in horror as the grate begins to vibrate more and more violently. The Four. The golden glow of the TARDIS engine illuminates the control room, shining on the Doctor as he leans against the controls of his favorite machine. His sleeves rolled up, he cautiously tweaks the inside of a square device, resting on the control panel. Gears and small wires scattered on the floor around him. Jessie lays nearby, her back rested against the chair of the TARDIS's new piano, watching the Doctor in confusion.
Remind me again why you're putting back together an alien radio? Or, whatever that thing is.
This is a trans-dimensional signal and wavelength enhancing communication container. But yes, I guess it is technically an alien radio. Gifted to me by Big King Jim from the planet Stanley II after I saved it from colliding into their moon. That was a very hectic week.
Who names a planet Stanley?
Well, to be fair, your planet is named after dirt.
Hey, it's metaphorical.
Ow! A small static explosion erupts from inside the box, as the Doctor quickly removes his hand and shakes it in the air.
You doing okay over there?
I looped the energized Macron wire through the interloop casing by accident. Because of course I did.
Can you repeat that in not Time Lord?
I tangled the glowy wire around the thing that isn't meant to have the glowy wire around it. And it went bang. Except no, it's not really like that at all, is it? Forget the glowy wire.
Jessie hops up to her feet and strolls over to the console, careful not to step on any of the spare parts littering the floor.
Can we strike a middle ground between super advanced technobabble and baby talk? I'm actually kind of curious how that thing works.
Fellow tinkerer, eh? Come here, I'll show you what I'm talking about.
Jessie brings her face in close to the small machine, and the Doctor points with a gloved finger.
This right here is the interloop casing. It's designed to protect these wires from brushing against any of the metal in the rest of the device.
So it doesn't interfere with the electrical current?
Almost. You've definitely got the right idea. This device doesn't run on electricity, at least not in the way that you're used to. That's why we have the energized Macrogon.
The Doctor trails off as he continues fumbling with the box, clearly lost in thought as he slowly repairs the device. Jessie watches his work for a minute before turning to study his face. She smirks.
Is this what always happens when you bring the girls home? You show up out of nowhere in your raggedy outfit and impress them with your cool car and the promise of adventure. And then you seal the deal with a long, drawn-out engineering lesson on space doohickeys.
Yes, very funny.
Jessie tilts her head to the side, looking at the Doctor as he avoids eye contact with an awkward smile.
But, out of curiosity, since we're on the topic, have you, I don't know, traveled with someone in that way before?
Me? The Doctor? A romantic? I am certainly not the relationship type.
Oh my god! You have! You so have!
I'm a millennia-old space-traveling lunatic who spends his free time fixing space radios and running away from the worst of what this universe has to offer. And you think that sounds like boyfriend material?
A lunatic with a very posh English accent and a time machine? Yeah, I'd say it does, mister.
Nope. No, we are most certainly not having this conversation right now. No, thank you.
Oh, it's all clear to me now. Underneath all that technobabble, you're just a big ol' intergalactic Casanova. I should have known.
Jesse, I really don't think...
I can see it now. I bet you had a lovely little fireplace right over in that corner for you and your other half, with a nice spot for the family dog. Oh, or maybe you're more a playboy, different girl every century kind of guy. I could see it.
The dog was robotic, so that wasn't really possible. But I hope you're not implying anything here. I definitely didn't invite you along for any hanky-panky.
What? No, absolutely not. Oh my god. Wait, that isn't why you asked if I...
No, most certainly not.
Well, good. I'm glad we both understand each other.
All right. Are we done with this conversation then? I'm certainly not in the mood for 20 questions.
Oh, I'm nowhere near done. Wow, where to even begin?
Might I suggest the end?
I just assumed... I don't even know what I assumed. You just don't seem like the dating type. Like, at all.
Oh, well, thank you.
No, but you whiz around one side of the universe to the other 5 times a week. How do you keep a relationship like that?
In my experience, I don't. Besides, I think I've had one too many marriages for this set of regenerations.
Wait, marriage?
Their conversation is suddenly interrupted as lights begin to gleam through the half-constructed radio.
Ah, finally! Brilliant!
Lifting up the radio with joy, the doctor completely ignores Jesse's shock.
No. Rewind and pause for a minute. Marriage? You've actually been married before?
Hey, hello. My name is Malcom Darriens.
Wait a minute. That wasn't a normal radio signal. It sounded like...
I'm sending this SOS message out to anyone. We're stranded. We had to make an emergency landing. Please, I need to advise extreme caution.
I'm sorry, but we've got more pressing matters to deal with at the moment. Looks like there's people to save. The signal is extremely fragmented, but I should be able to track the coordinates easily through the message, like so!
He excitedly pulls down the lever on the console, causing the whole room to shake and spin in reaction. The doctor laughs while gripping his hands against the side as Jessie tries her best to hang on.
Oh no. There is no way you're wiggling out of this conversation. You mean like marriage? Like the husband and wife kind? You actually had one of those? Or, oh my god, more than one?
I promise it's honestly not nearly as exciting as it sounds. Now, please, can we just get on with...
Jumping headfirst into danger? For Pete's sake, we have no idea what the situation there even is. You heard him say so yourself. Extreme caution.
Oh, absolutely. But that's what makes it so exciting.
The wheezing from the TARDIS's materialization echoes throughout an empty control room of the Pantheon colony ship. Facing the time machine is a gigantic glass display window, cracked and nearly shattered, its fragments scattered across the dented metal floor. Jessie steps out from behind the blue doors, her arms crossed and her face frowning. The doctor follows behind, shutting the doors and enthusiastically placing his hands on his hips, more than ready to save the day. He does his best to ignore Jessie's growing impatience.
We're in the M87 galaxy. Or at least that's my best guess.
There's no way you're able to tell which galaxy you're in that easily.
I have a bit of experience, thank you very much. Can't tell which planet we're on yet, though. Smells like... I don't even really know. Like rotten food and burnt toast. Something's definitely off.
Gross. Why don't you start by looking at the actual... Oh my god, Doctor, look!
He spins around quickly and steps up next to her, both gazing out into the environment. The colorful pink and blue lights of the constellations shine from the sky above, mirrored perfectly on the empty vastness of the planet, out onto the endless sea of reflection. Nothing like Jesse had ever seen. The entire world is like a rippling ocean of galaxies. Large pieces of the ship rest on this glossy surface, huge chunks of the vessel disturbing the perfect reflection of the stars above. They had likely broken off when the station collided with the planet.
I don't get it. It looks like we're in some type of void. Like the ship crashed into nothingness. I mean, it's a beautiful as hell nothingness, but still.
This phenomenon, that's the planet we're on, reflecting the sky above. Think of it like a big piece of glass, if that makes it easier. It looks like we've landed in a void, but really, this is just the outer crust of the entire planet. And I reckon, just my best guess, the glass is probably about a mile thick. Stronger than your Earth's toughest crystal. I don't think I've ever seen somewhere so perfectly seamless before. Surprised I haven't heard of it myself, quite frankly. You, Jesse, may be one of the only few human beings in existence to ever catch a glimpse of this place. Treasure that.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Jesse looks to the doctor, who is still gazing out at the planet. His eyes are filled with caution and confusion, instead of his usual excitement and intrigue.
You seem bothered by something. Is there a problem with the planet? Is it not meant to be this way?
Not exactly. This is a level 5 star cruiser. Wherever it comes from has a good amount of information on board about the neighboring planets. When it crashed, whoever pilots this craft chose to land here. And they wouldn't have done it on a planet if they didn't think there would be the local residents here to help them get home. So why don't we see any signs of life outside?
And on that exciting note, why don't you go find those people, and I'll just pull up a chair and watch the view for a little bit.
Oh no, come on. Things to do, people to save.
All right, fine. But I swear, if this planet doesn't do postcards...
Jesse waltzes out of the room as the doctor follows behind. He is stopped in his tracks, however, by a noise in the distance. Coming from outside of the window, it echoes, somewhere from the ocean outside. He twirls around quickly in reaction, a gigantic grin appearing on his face as he takes in the sound of the strange, if not slightly familiar tone. The doctor thinks for a moment before jogging to catch up to Jesse. On another part of the ship, 3 teenagers sit around a large empty control room. A boy, with the fuzzy face of a cat kind, lazily rests his head against his paw as he leans over the broken controls. He stares at another older one of his kind sitting at the opposite end of the room. His uniform looks professional, although his exact profession isn't clear.
Hey, Will, what do you think he's actually doing?
He asks another slightly older human boy sitting behind him. Relaxed in a desk chair, he casually flips through some sort of newspaper.
Ugh, he's praying, Ken. What else could he possibly be doing?
Come on, who prays like that?
Would you like to go and interrupt the man and tell him your preference as to how a person should usually pray?
Well, not really. I, for one, would prefer not to get yelled at by an angry Scotsman again.
You were asking for it last time, and you absolutely knew you were.
It's not my fault he can't take a joke.
Ken, you said his church was like the Cyberman Empire.
And it was hilarious.
Listen, if you're that bored, I get it. But that doesn't mean you have to annoy the rest of us trying to make do. Go and find something to keep yourself busy, like I have, like Mel has, and...
He nods his head to the meditating cat.
Like Proctor Domonic has.
Ken stares intently at the Proctor, inspecting him closer.
Look at him, though. Is it just me, or does he do the same thing over and over.
Trust you to pry on someone's exact mannerisms.
I swear he is. I bet you 8 credits he'll raise his left hand in about 5 seconds, and then he'll do it again, at least twice.
It would be childish of me to participate in such a low-stakes bet.
Will rolls his eyes, folding over the newspaper into his lap as he leans forward in his chair.
But go on. Put me down for 12.
A man of absolute culture, I see.
Crying out loud, will you lads shut the bloody hell up and stop staring at me before I...
All right. Put away your claws, Proctor. This one's just a bad influence.
A very much needed one from the sounds of it, in this situation.
Do you ever for one moment know when to shut your damn gob?
Guys, I know it's hard not to get some of that cabin fever at the moment, but can we all just respect each other's privacy, please?
A girl walks past another human as she pours some type of caffeine into a small teacup sitting next to the Proctor.
Maybe the creatures out there would like to teach him a thing or two about privacy. Would you like me to get the door for you?
You know, if I had it my way, then we would be best mates, being some of the only cat kind left on the ship. Where's your sense of companionship?
It died. Along with my sense of humor the day I met you, pal.
That's enough. Leave him alone, Ken.
Life and soul of the party you are. The lot of ya. What's the point in having privacy at the moment anyway, when we're a few meters away from whatever the hell those things are down the hall?
We don't know that. For all we know, there's a good chance Mr. Malcom was able to send out an SOS.
You never told me you did stand-up as well. I'll give you credit, though. You're definitely a lot funnier than him.
I think I might have put it less crudely, but the feline has a point. It's shocking that we're still alive. Although I'd be lying if I said that spending a lot more time with my good friend Ken here hasn't made me yearn for the sweet release of death just a little bit.
I swear, you guys are the worst.
Yep, we could seriously do with a miracle right about now.
The teens jump to their feet, their eyes glued on the door as their stomachs collectively sink.
What the hell was that? Is it those things?
All right, people. It's main event time.
Will reaches to his belt, lifting up a glowing revolver and pointing it toward the door, his finger on the trigger.
Where in the hell did you get a hold of that?
I had a quick peek inside one of the security lockers before we got here. Now, if you don't mind, I'd prefer it if you all were out of my line of sight.
Whoa, you don't have to tell me twice.
You're a child with a gun.
This is it, then?
Maybe. I'm not sure what's about to happen, but whatever comes through those doors, I'm going to give it the fight of its damn life. Mel, Proctor, it's been nice knowing you. Ken, I've really never liked you very much.
Oh, how honorable of you.
I think it's almost through.
Brace yourselves, everyone. Firing in 3, 2, 1.
The doors slide open. They reveal behind them the Doctor and Jesse. He holds his sonic screwdriver proudly in his hand, a look of accomplishment on his face.
And we're through.
Fire!
Excuse me?
Will lowers his weapon, confused.
They're people. More people.
Get them inside and close the doors. Now!
Quick, in!
Mel ushers them in her direction as the two rush into the room, and she sprints toward the controls. The doors seal shut again as she hastily enters in the key code. Mel walks back towards them in a huff, as Will rests his back against the side wall, exhausted from his brief spike in heart rate. The Doctor and Jesse look at each other, silently debating how to react to their unique welcome experience.
Well, that was a bit of a palaver, wasn't it?
You don't have to tell me twice. I'm exhausted just standing here.
Oh, of course you are, you useless waste.
Die!
Who are you people? You both dressed like you just came from a rave or something.
Ignore them. We've been stuck with each other for a while, and we've been going a bit crazy. We thought all of the other passengers were dead. After the crash, we saw so many get killed. We just assumed...
Oh no, we aren't passengers. We're here to help. Got your distress call. Came right here.
Distress call? You mean Malcom was actually able to get through?
A very fragmented one, but yes. By the look of your ship, I'm not surprised that it was.
See? Told you. These lot are all just a bunch of negative Nancys. No optimism to save their lives.
Before we leave, may we please take a vote as to who gets to stay behind?
Seconded.
Wait, hold on. You're cat kind. Which must mean... Oh, is this a new Earth colony?
Begrudgingly, it is, yeah.
Oh, that is stellar! Oh, I love New Earth!
Doctor, those are
Jessie, sorry, forgot to introduce...
cat people.
Yep.
Cat people with whiskers and claws and feet.
And breathe in. Sorry, she's a few years behind. Or a few billion. Timelines and all that.
So you're telling me in 1,000,000 billion years, the human race ventures towards the stars and builds new civilizations with cats?
Oh, yes. But they're very friendly. Most of them, anyway.
Wait, you're both not human?
Oh, no. Jessie here is.
Hi.
I'm not human. To say the very least. Well, at least not on a good day. I'm the doctor, by the way.
Oh, I'm Will. That right there is Mel. The cat with the fancy hat is Proctor Domonic, and that other one is the growing constant pain in my back.
Oh, they love me, really. I think you'll find that I'm the heart and soul of the group. My friends call me Ken, though.
Wait, you're the crew? You only need to be 16 to drive a car where I'm from, but I never would have guessed that would extend to spaceships.
These idiots wish they were the crew.
Care to maybe offer some context?
This is a colony ship, which means its main purpose is to transport large groups of people.
This place is pretty much just a space bus.
Love that. A space bus. That's so human. Venturing out into the stars through public transport.
So you're just the passengers. Is there anyone else who survived whatever happened here?
Well, technically, the only survivor here of the actual crew is the Proctor.
Ending up with these lot makes me want to skirt that title.
We're on a ship made of some very valuable materials. It becomes a real possibility that occasionally the opportunity arises for pirates to try and raid the ship.
Space pirates. In space.
And when it does, the most secure place on the ship becomes the orphanage.
So, you're all orphans?
I prefer to look at it as in-between families at the moment.
Ah, right. That explains why you're alive. You must have escaped after everything went into lockdown.
How did you two even get here anyway?
Well, that's funny you asked, because...
It's sort of like a box thing.
Yes, a big blue box. A very noisy, big blue box.
Look, can you or can you not get us off this junkyard?
Absolutely. My ship can take you anywhere you'd want to go. We also have chess, Uno, and a bit of checkers if that's what you fancy. And we also have Mario Kart on a Nintendo Wii. Oh, love me a Wii.
Then we all need to leave now.
What's the rush? This place seems quite cozy. If you brush up the broken glass.
The doctor nudges bits of machinery to the side of one of the cluttered desks before taking a seat on top of it.
Now, as much as I would like to poke fun right now, he's kinda right. Those things have probably already smelled their scent by now.
How lovely.
Wow, that's kind of invasive. Ugh.
Tell me, please, what is it that's gotten you all so scared?
I know you said the SOS was broken, but surely Malcom must have explained the danger of the situation. Then again, you probably wouldn't have come if you knew.
Doctor, extreme caution, remember?
Ah, yes, right. To be honest, extreme caution could have meant anything under the right circumstances. Fireworks, Extreme dance moves, maybe? I even have a few of my own.
He's quite a fun one, isn't he? I like you.
So go on then, enlighten me. What are the creepy crawlies that are lurking amidst the shadows today, eh? Come on, give me a name.
Don't have one, I'm afraid.
Then details, please. What does it look like? What does this creature do?
Hard to even describe. I've only ever seen it while running away. Whatever it is, it can devour a person in seconds. Either rip them to shreds right in front of you or just swallow you whole.
The crew couldn't even shoot the bloody things. They were so fast.
Just one thing. It can travel through our ship in moments. If it gets a whiff of you, if it even has a hunch that it knows where you might be, you're already dead.
Then wouldn't it have found you guys by now? By all accounts, shouldn't you already be dead?
Your friend's smart. I was saying the exact thing, but no clue. Your guess is as good as ours.
Any thoughts, Doctor? Sound like anything you've seen before?
That doesn't do much to narrow it down. I've got a hunch or two, but it could be anything. Whatever it is, it wouldn't be wise to stick around to find out. Come on then, back to my ship before we're all after school dessert.
Blimey. The man's only been here for 5 seconds and he's already my hero.
Wait, hang on. Aren't we forgetting something? Someone? Plural?
Mercy, I completely forgot.
Forgot about who? There are more people on board?
The rest of the orphanage. About 5 other kids and a nanny.
Do you know what room they're in right now?
I sure do.
Tell you what, write it down for me, would you? Quick as you can.
Will lifts himself up from the wall, grabbing a small note of paper and a pen.
You're not thinking of finding those kids on your own? Without one of us to show you the way? I mean, fair dues for daring to save us, but come on, that's more idiotic than it is heroic.
Well, I've had my days, trust me. But no, my ship can get us there, no problem.
Wait. You're saying your vehicle can directly phase through to another part of the ship without being seen?
He hands the doctor a note.
Of course. Can be there in moments.
And it's big enough to fit all of us in. And the children. Who the hell are you people?
Well, it's kinda easier to see it than to explain it. Trust me.
And with that, I believe it's time to be moving. Come on, this way.
Yep, I'm following that guy.
The doctor swings open the TARDIS doors from the outside, gesturing warmly for the crew to wander inside. They gaze around, amazed at the scale of his time machine.
Welcome aboard.
Ooh, look at the color scheme. Very fancy.
Huh. This is all yours? You built this?
Well, not quite. I look at it as more of a collective effort from friends.
Is that right? Yeah, you definitely stole this.
Before the doctor enters the TARDIS, his attention shifts to the ship ventilation above him as it briefly begins to shake. Whatever it is fast approaching, and it knows exactly where they are. Jessie pauses as she follows the crew to the console, turning around to see the doctor still outside of his ship, taking in the oncoming danger.
Hey, are you planning on staying with the man-eating monsters?
Keep the kids occupied for a minute, would you? And don't let them touch anything.
You're usually the one who takes care of that. What are you up to?
What makes you think I'm up to something?
You are most definitely always up to something. Come on, spill.
I have to see it.
See what exactly?
Just for a moment. I want to take a look with my own eyes. Otherwise, where's the fun?
You don't mean... Oh, no. If you're going to take a look, then I should definitely get to.
Nope. Staring down the eyes of a creature from the unknown before it can chew me up, that's my profession at this point. Takes years of practice, I'm afraid.
I'm pretty sure you'll just talk until the monster gets bored.
Why fix something that isn't broken? Now, back in the TARDIS, please. Keep it warm for me.
Don't you...
The Doctor leans his back toward the TARDIS, before excitedly leaping to the center of the room, looking above again at the ever-growing trembling ventilation.
Sorry for the wait, dear. Hope I didn't keep you waiting too long. Yes, I know you're there. No need to keep skulking around in the dark. I don't bite. Well, I'm sure it isn't much of a figure of speech for you. And that's what you do, isn't it? For all those stars in that big wide universe up there, your kind has been around, haven't you? Oh, I had a hunch. Oh, I absolutely did. But I had to take a look at you for myself. Well, come on then. Let's take a gander at you.
The large creature bursts through the sealed doors next to the TARDIS, tearing it away with its giant teeth in a flash. Its gigantic worm-like figure stands monolithic over the Doctor as it peers down on its prey with all 6 eyes. It struggles to even fit its sharp, scaly body in the room.
Oh, look at you! Absolutely a Drashig!
The Drashig's fearsome roar knocks the Doctor back a few steps. Where any other person would be understandably very terrified, the Doctor's excitement and fascination only grow.
You're a Drashig! A big, beautiful, ginormous Drashig! Oh, it's been a good while now, hasn't it? Been around since I last came across you lot. Saved the universe half a dozen times. You're welcome. Met the devil. That was a good time. Got married. So, met her again and... All right. Enough waffling, Doctor. I know you can't probably understand me, but you're smart enough to detect my next instincts. You didn't become the most fearsome predators in the universe for nothing. This ship, this giant hunk of metal that we're standing on right now, is yours. I'm just gonna get into my ship over there and leave. I promise that I'll...
The Drashig peers its beady eyes in the direction of the TARDIS, picking up the scent of Jessie and the crew inside.
No! You don't want to chew on that. It's all lumpy and temporal. Come on, grow an appetite for the man with the wacky hair and silly gloves, like any normal civilized omnivore. Come on, don't you dare!
Before he can even finish his sentence, the Drashig launches toward the blue box, swallowing it down whole in one single bite. It tears away half the steel wall behind it, devouring everything in the direction of its open mouth.
No! You just ate my TARDIS! My TARDIS!
The Drashig's attention quickly turns back to the Doctor, and it bares its jagged fangs at him.
Or perhaps we could just let bygones be bygones and I'll just knock this up to a happy accident.
Glancing behind the Drashig, the Doctor spots an engine room behind the partially demolished wall.
Or, word to the wise, for future reference, I'd advise against creating the perfect escape route for your dinner.
The Doctor sprints toward the wall, just dodging the creature as it lunges toward him, missing and hitting its head against the floor. It screeches and watches the Doctor escape into the other room. The Doctor jumps into the engine room, just catching his balance as the creature begins to tear down the other half of the wall. He quickly inspects the room, looking for any means of staying alive. The engine itself is badly damaged, leaking fumes and gases from various cracks and loose pipes.
Tell me, can't you smell it? All the fuel for this big, gargantuan colony ship? Well, here you go. Let me give you a whiff.
The Doctor yanks a loose pipe from the engine, sending fuel flying everywhere, gas plumes into the air around him. The Drashig bursts through the room, plunging its head toward the Doctor. Clenching his eyes shut, he backs up against the wall, only to be met by nothing. He slowly opens his eyes, seeing in front of him the Drashig frozen in place. Pulls its head back into the other room before quickly scurrying away into a different part of the ship. The Doctor drops the pipe from his hand, exhausted. He turns his gaze over to the other side of the room, spotting another sort of computer. He rushes toward it quickly, tapping the top with his hand as he desperately tries to activate.
Maybe, if I'm lucky enough, I should be able to route this to any nearby vehicles.
The screen begins to light up more, restoring his hope momentarily. The doctor presses a button and leans in closer to the monitor.
Hello! This is the Doctor. TARDIS team, can you hear me? Doctor to the TARDIS, hello?
He waits for a minute, for any other signals to come through, only to be met by nothing.
Oh, fabulous job, Doctor. Up the danger, ruin the trip, all for what? Avoid discussing the... No, can't think about that now. I need to...
The doctor trails off before the realization hits him like a firework. Quickly reaching into his pocket, he pulls out a crumpled piece of paper, the room location of the Orphans. TARDIS console spins and turns rapidly in a frenzy. Jesse and the crew just barely holding on as the police box churns through the insides of the trash chute.
Hey! Don't you have any idea how to stabilize this thing?
Not really. I'm sort of a newbie. Usually it seems like he just pulls a lever or presses whatever buttons he's feeling like that day.
Oh, brilliant! So it's death by bloody vertigo then, as opposed to being eaten alive. How can't these things just get to the point?
Well, it's not like this place comes with a manual. Probably.
The TARDIS's cloister bell echoes throughout the room as a beam of light starts to shine from underneath one of the controls near Jesse.
Does it usually do that?
No idea.
Jesse, I think that's for you!
Jesse thinks for a moment. Could the TARDIS really be trying to communicate with her? She lunges toward the machine as the room spins in another direction. She's just able to grab the lever and pull it down with all of her strength. The room stops in a sudden halt as everyone tumbles to the floor. Taking a moment, they all let the blood leave their heads before slowly rising to their feet once again.
Must be one of those stabilization cores. Credit where credit is due, I suppose.
All right. Okay. I think I'm ready to go for another round.
Does this usually happen around here?
No. Yes. Maybe. I hope not. Oh God, I hope not.
What in the hell even happened? That couldn't possibly be the damn turbulence.
No, the man seems a bit out of it, no offense, but he's not stupid enough to set his own ship to leave by itself. No, something must have happened outside.
Will approaches the doors as everyone watches anxiously. Taking a deep breath, he yanks them open swiftly, and they all jump back in reaction. He quickly backs away, not knowing what to expect. Blocking the exit is a thick wall of slimy skin, completely sealing anything from getting in or out of the TARDIS.
My God.
Well, it looks like our new friends found their next meal after all. How wonderful.
You mean we're inside one of those monsters? Like, inside?
The TARDIS grabs their attention again as another one of the same lights glows beneath the dials on the controls.
It's glowing again. What does that one do?
Don't know, but last time it meant something good, right? It's like the TARDIS is trying to protect us, or something.
Jesse hesitantly twists the dial in her palm. The TARDIS shakes again, very briefly, as a blue glow begins to form around the outside of the doors.
I think this is the part where someone comes to a realization and then fills the rest of the idiots in the room in on what just happened.
That right there, it's probably the ship's sort of emergency protection shield.
Apparently, Genghis Khan himself couldn't get through that door. Or so I've been told.
Hang on. Will, how the hell do you know this stuff?
If you travel on the amount of space colonies I have, you tend to pick up the basics.
So we're safe in here, for the time being.
Technically, we're safe. But I wouldn't get your hopes too high just yet.
Here we go.
Look, I'm sorry to say this, Jesse, there's about a 90% chance that your friend also got munched when his box did, give or take. And if you have just as much knowledge as we do about how to fly this magic ballroom, well, that means...
We're stuck here.
Spectacular! We're all in the exact same position as an hour ago, but it's all right. At least the room this time is bloody fancier.
So, anybody up for a game of Uno?
The orphanage of the ship remains silent, replaced by the usual laughs and screams of children at play. An empty quiet hangs in the air. The 5 children sit silently, understandably shaken by the ongoing terror outside. One cat-kind girl sits alone, watching the other 4 children chatter amongst themselves. The orphanage nanny, another cat-kind, approaches her slowly, taking the seat next to her on the ground.
Hey, you. How have you been coping?
Fine, I guess.
You know, it's okay not to be okay sometimes.
Yeah, right. Adults are always okay. They always know what to do and always know what to say.
Where did you hear that from?
Didn't need to.
Want to know a secret? I'm not okay. I'll be honest with you, I'm mortified right now. More mortified than I've been in a long time.
Then what do you do to make yourself okay again?
I'll have to get back to you on that one. I'm still figuring that out myself. But one thing the silly old cat does know is that the worst thing to do is to keep it all bottled up, because then you never get any better.
Lilly looks at Governess May, then back to the other children, before getting up and walking toward her friends. May watches on, a pit of anxiety in her stomach, but with the slightest bit of optimism. Fear welling up in her feline eyes, May nervously approaches the door, as the kids huddle together in a panic behind her.
Miss? Is that how monsters usually knock?
I was thinking the same thing.
Well, you don't exactly have a doorbell.
His muffled voice confuses them for a moment, before May rushes toward the door to open it. It slides open to reveal the doctor, with a gigantic smile plastered across his face. He waltzes toward the children, shaking all of their tiny hands individually as he introduces himself.
Hello there, orphans. I'm your cool new uncle, codenamed the Doctor. Here to sneak you all the jelly babies you can possibly eat before tea time. Don't tell Mum.
The small cat kind, Lilly, peers at the doctor in confusion before asking timidly,
Who are you? Yeah, we thought everybody out there was eaten alive.
The doctor glides past them, and they chatter amongst themselves. He walks toward another giant broken computer toward the edge of the room.
Good news, everyone. I've been sent directly from the other remaining orphans.
He pulls out his screwdriver and opens the compartment door, yanking out wires and fiddling with the machine in typical doctor fashion.
Kenwyl and Mel? I think the stars they're still alive. They got out not long after we were barricaded in here. Couldn't stop them if I tried.
Yes, don't worry, they're safe. Or at least they should be. They found the only other survivor on the ship. Proctor something, the angry one with the funny hat.
Oh, I think he means Mr. Grumpy who works on floor 7.
That's the one.
I don't even know what's been happening outside those doors. All communication has been completely cut off.
Right, well, to catch you all up to speed, we're all in danger. Immense, horrible, inconceivable danger. But not to worry, because the doctor's on the case.
So, do you have a plan? You speak as a man with much confidence, I assume.
Oh, I've got nothing at the moment. Still getting to that part, I'm afraid.
Then what are you doing here?
Well, Wait, sorry. What were all your names again?
I'm Governess May. They're Lilly, Julian, Matt, and Elias, and the talkative one over there is Byron.
Byron beams proudly at the doctor.
Governess May says I like to be the center of attention.
I can see that. Governess May and the gang, nice to meet you. Now, remind me, You said your communication was cut off from the rest of the ship?
Completely.
But you still had at least a glimmer of power. Even the tiniest amount?
But everything's too badly broken, sir.
We could get the screen to turn on, but we couldn't exactly get it to do anything.
Well, that was before you had me!
What do you mean? Are you like an engineer or something?
Well, yes, but that's not what you need most right now. Let's see. A governess and her orphans trapped in a room. My ship, Jessie, and the others have been gobbled up by a Drashig.
A what?
So we're working with the basics here, I'm afraid. But there's a tip I've carried with me all these years from my good friend Sun Tzu that usually keeps me going. Now, there was a man who knew how to play a game of Uno.
We really don't have any idea where you're going with this.
Know thy enemy.
The computer flashes on, and the doctor quickly begins typing in commands.
Take a seat, boys and girls. Today, you get to learn about one of the scariest creatures in the entire universe.
The orphans, along with Governess May, sit close by amongst the messy room, watching the doctor pull up the screen captures of the Drashigs from the security cameras throughout the ship.
The Drashigs are an ancient race of predators, some of the oldest in the universe, but that's what makes them so effective. They're a specially evolved creature, designed to do one thing and one thing only: devour. Anything and everything imaginable, even the biggest star cruiser in the universe. They mainly detect through scent, and that's why they were able to get so many on the ship so quickly. When the ship crashed here, they could probably smell it from halfway across the planet.
How could we have ended up on a planet so hostile? I know this planet. Or at least I thought I did. Inhabited by the Tdracamira under the surface of the planet's crust. They're so dedicated to their planet's beauty, they decided to live under the surface through the caves carved out in the glass. Hundreds of cities, all fully inhabited throughout the planet. At least as I understand it. It doesn't make sense.
Well done. That's exactly what I thought earlier. This planet was chosen for crash landing for a specific reason. It must have been on record that this place is a refuge. I doubt it said anything about the Drashigs. This most assuredly isn't their home.
Lilly turns her head away from the ongoing biology lesson. She stands up, approaching one of the nearby cracked windows, looking out onto the glass world below.
Miss, I think you might want to take a look at this.
Not at the moment, Lilly. Doctor, you were saying?
You wouldn't happen to know the rough population of this planet, would you?
Couple million, I think.
Yep, all dead.
Oh. Oh no.
That's the Drashigs. All it takes is a few. Some opportunistic residents of a planet, thinking they're ahead of the curve by capturing a couple and sticking them inside of a zoo or a miniscope to make a quick profit. I've seen it myself. Come and gander at the mightiest of the Drashigs. But then, sooner or later, of course, they escape. I've seen other species ravage worlds before, but never on such a small scale. 10 billion stingrays could wipe out a world, but only 4 or 5 Drashigs will do the same in half the time. And of course, the planet's crust is like cardboard to them. They can probably burrow through it far better than the Tdracamira ever could. I believe the phrase, shooting the fish in the barrel, would be very appropriate here. This planet is theirs now. They've already won. To them, we're all just sport. At least the Daleks are slow enough to run away from most of the time.
Then why aren't we monster food already? You said that they can eat everything and never ever stop, right? Then why haven't we been eaten yet?
Clever lad, asking the right questions. You're right. This ship shouldn't even be standing anymore. These Drashigs, nothing about them makes sense. They don't act like this. It's just not in their nature. They're always raised at the very top of their food chain, never needing to hide or be afraid of any other predators because of what they are. The de facto predator. Any other competition just ends up getting eaten. So why would they keep us alive?
Miss, I think this is really important.
We've got time for sightseeing when we're safe. You should be paying attention.
No, hold on. What is it, Lilly?
The doctor hops over the computer parts on the floor as he rushes toward the window. A smile emerges as he quickly reaches inside of his breast pocket, pulling out a silver-rimmed monocle and placing it over his left eye.
Oh, I've been waiting to use this.
He turns around gleefully to see the reactions of May and the orphans.
What on New Earth is that?
It's a monocle. I haven't worn a monocle in ages. What do you think?
Everyone turns their attention toward the window, clearly ignoring the Time Lord's question.
Oh, tough crowd. I'm sure Jesse will like it. But right, the window!
They all peer outside for a moment, their eyes adjusting to the reflective surface of the glassy world.
What are we looking at? I don't see anything.
Look! Right over there! Approaching the ship!
The doctor points out the window in the direction of a group of Drashigs approaching the wreckage of the ship. Their bodies drill and tear through the crystalline sea, leaving long, jagged paths along the immaculate surface.
Those are the monsters?
They most certainly are. Wait. Hold on. Those Drashigs are... smaller. Curious.
Are Drashigs always the same size?
No, it's just... One of the few times I met them in the past, I came across a subspecies called the Emerald Drashigs. Smaller. They hunt in groups of about 5, led by an alpha. Definitely just as deadly. Perhaps that's what these are. Or it could be something else entirely.
Well, that doesn't exactly inspire me with any more confidence.
Sorry, I get carried away with the intrigue sometimes.
May ushers the doctor away from the children for a moment as they all watch the creatures from the window. She whispers to him to prevent the children from overhearing.
What exactly am I meant to tell those children? If something happened to one of them, if we run into one of those Drashig things, and one of them got hurt, or heaven forbid something worse, that falls on my shoulders. I swore to protect them at all costs.
May. Can I call you May?
In a situation like this, you most certainly cannot.
Governess May, I swear to you, you have my absolute word that I'm going to do everything in my power to get you and those children out of here, to safety. I always do.
Well then, you'd better stop trying to show off and whiz about the room the way you do. Actually get down to business with something before we all become dinner for the gigantic slugs.
Look! The baby Drashigs are about to enter the ship!
The doctor spins around again, quickly rushing back toward the window.
Not if I can help it. Is it just me, or does that look like fuel leaking out of the entrance?
That's liquid hydrogen! We learned that in class!
Blimey. Do all New Earth kids pay attention this well? Really putting the 21st century students to shame.
Hang on. That liquid hydrogen's flammable, right?
Most definitely. Especially when I do this.
The doctor reaches into his coat pocket again, pulling out his sonic as he flicks it into the air and back into his hand.
What's that, sir?
Oh, this? No, it's just a screwdriver, honestly.
What does it do?
Opens doors, makes tea, the full stop. If I were a writer, I'd say it's more of a plot convenience than anything.
You're flaming mad. I'm stuck in a room with nothing else to save my life but a madman with a screwdriver.
That's sonic screwdriver, thank you very much.
Without a second thought, he points his screwdriver toward the fuel outside the window and activates it, the buzzing sound echoing throughout the room. The fuel floating atop the glass below suddenly lights up in a roaring flame. It coats the Drashigs in an orange glow as they back away from the fire, clearly startled.
And we're safe.
Everyone watches intently as the creatures back away from the flames before diving under the surface, burrowing down into the glass ocean.
Wait! Some of them are swimming under it!
Maybe 10% less safe?
Did they see us? Do they know where we are?
I don't think so. But we probably don't have much time until they sniff us out. We should get to work. If I can find a spare communicator lying around here, I can probably get it hooked up to the computer system. Which means...
The doctor begins rummaging through piles of broken mechanical components and orphanage toys that litter the floor.
Wait a minute now. Slow down.
I should be able to establish communication with my TARDIS.
Doctor!
May grabs his arm softly for a moment, pulling his mind back to reality as they share a quick look before he dives back into the pile of junk. Pulling out a communicator, he grins and carries it over to the broken monitor. May reluctantly follows him.
You need to take a moment to just breathe. You're going 1,000,000 miles a minute. Is this what you always do?
What I always do?
Just keep talking and talking long enough to hide the fact that you might not actually be okay. How are you not already exhausted from all this?
Because I don't have time to be exhausted. Not when I still need to save her. Not when I've been a complete and utter fumbling idiot.
Listen, I don't think we're leaving anytime soon. So would you care to fill me in? Who's her?
My friend, Jessie. She came here with me when my ship intercepted the SOS. Not that I gave her much of a choice, anyway. I was too busy trying to avoid... You wouldn't want to hear about that. It's not important.
I think I see the problem. Your friend, Jessie, it sounds like you were close.
On a relative scale, yes. We met not too long ago. Of course, it was because she got swept up in another one of my escapades.
Why does that not surprise me?
The governess's attention is quickly drawn over to Lilly, her back turned toward everyone else in the room, sitting sullenly in the corner. May draws away from the doctor and approaches her.
Hey, Lilly, is there something wrong, honey?
It's nothing, miss. I'm fine, I promise.
I think we both know that's not really the case here, don't we?
May kneels down in front of the girl, taking her hands gently as she offers her a warm smile.
I can't cry or else Byron and Julian will...
You think they'll make fun of you for being scared? I'll tell you this right now. Everyone in this very room is more scared than they've ever been in their entire lives. And if they aren't, I think that definitely means there's something wrong. Don't you?
May wipes away the tears, still slowly streaming down Lily's sad face. The doctor listens in behind as he pulls out some type of device from another box and begins to tweak and scan it.
Listen, you're still so young. I'm going to tell you something and pray you carry these words with you for as long as you can. Keeping your feelings to yourself, whether it's anger, fear, grief, it's very normal to want to keep them all bottled up inside. Even if you're afraid of the reaction you're gonna get from someone else when you show them, don't you ever let it stop you from doing so. Not for a second. And do you want to know why? Because when you do that, you might just push them away because of it. And then you're sad, scared, and alone. And nobody wants that.
Lilly breaks down into tears, letting out all of her fear and anxiety as she collapses into the governess's arms. She embraces the child in a comforting hug. The doctor watches the pair, carefully considering her words. His train of thought is brought to a stop, however, as his tinkering finally activates the monitor, its faint green glow shining onto his face.
It's on. It's on and it's working! Now, just need to set the right frequency. Come in? Hello? Can anybody read me? This is the doctor. TARDIS, come in!
Inside the TARDIS, Jessie and the crew lie about the room in boredom, as Ken and Will play cards on the smooth wooden floor.
And snap!
What do you mean, snap?
I placed all my cards in the middle. That means I won. Right?
Nope, that cannot be right.
What are you on about, not right? That's the game.
Oh look, says right here on the box, keep out of reach of children ages 0 to 3 and animals. I mean, it says it on the box. You're obviously disqualified.
When is the day going to come when you don't poke fun at him?
Well, it's about the only fun I'm going to get playing a card game out of the Dark Ages.
If I live through this, I'll personally buy you any bloody game you want. Just please, grant me a moment of quiet.
Their conversation is interrupted as an antique telephone ring echoes throughout the control room.
Is that a phone? Like an actual telephone?
Ooh, that sounds like it's got a bit of a beat to it, doesn't it? It's very indie.
You know, Jesse, I think that's probably for you.
Me? Why me?
I mean, this is your ship.
Jesse anxiously approaches the controls, quickly tapping the flashing green button next to the speaker, before quickly jumping away.
Hello? This is the TARDIS.
Jesse, there you are!
Oh my god, Doctor, you're alive! I'm with the whole crew, they're still here.
Are you safe? Are you all okay?
Mostly. Although being swallowed by an alien inside of a time machine wasn't exactly on my to-do list for today. It was a bit of a bumpy ride initially, but the TARDIS, it's like it helped us. Told us the right things to press.
Oh, isn't she a clever girl?
What about you? What have you been up to out there?
Well, you're gonna laugh.
You're stuck somewhere as well, aren't you?
To be fair, it is quite cozy. So it's not all bad.
Did you manage to find the orphanage at least, by the way?
Yes, they're all here. Don't worry. If not a little bored.
Brilliant. Say hi to May for us.
I think I'm well past due a very long conversation with the three of you once this is all over.
Right. So, what's the plan?
What do you mean, what's the plan?
You've got to have some semblance of an idea of what to do next. Right?
I'm stuck in a metal room with 5 children and a very passive-aggressive cat woman. I don't have much to work with at the moment. Oh dear. Maybe I could... Actually, the TARDIS has been lodged in the stomach of big hungry creatures before. Last time I was a bit too out of it to actually do anything. Regeneration, it's a mixed bag. But if some of the TARDIS's materialization energy is given a little kick and funneled outwards, it could agitate the Drashig's stomach enough to send you right back out again. Well, haven't really given it a go before, so it may be a bit hit or miss, but I'm hoping for the best.
Of course your time machine's been eaten before.
Wait, time machine? Do you reckon we could all hop back to have mimosas with John Lennon after this? You know, a little palate cleanser.
Let the man focus, you child.
Lennon was more a gin guy anyway. But there should be a little blue lever there somewhere, about on the 3rd panel across from the door, in the top right corner, next to the handbrake and the control defibrillator.
Would you mind explaining that in human, please?
No, I think I got it.
Wow, that was quick.
I have been around my fair share of ships. Rectangular or not.
Oi! Don't knock the box!
Can we cut the back and forth and finally leave this thing's gullet? Pretty please?
Oh, hush. Just because we're in life-threatening danger doesn't mean we can't still have a good time.
I appreciate the enthusiasm, but I'd recommend giving us 5 minutes just to get our bearings first. We're still locked inside the orphanage, and I'd prefer to give the Drashigs the smallest possible chance to grab us after the TARDIS is safe again. Pull that lever in exactly 5 minutes.
Doctor?
Hello!
I swear if you aren't the first person to get back in this TARDIS.
Oh, I wouldn't worry. This is just the part where all the fun begins. Doctor, signing out.
And good luck.
The Doctor quickly sets aside the communicator, motioning the orphans to come closer.
Right, everybody, it's group huddle time. Now, I'm going to ask you a very important question. Who here, in this very moment, right this very second, is scared?
The children all hesitate, before each raising their hand up into the air.
Ah, well done. That means you've all been paying attention.
The red emergency lighting continues to blink down a dark hall of the ship. The orphans, all holding each other's hands, tiptoe as quietly as they can, following Governess May, with the Doctor leading the way, holding his screwdriver with both hands in front of him. It blinks like a metal detector.
Do you think you could possibly make any less noise with that gadget of yours?
Not if you want me to find out where my TARDIS got spat out. Almost there now. Maybe... Probably not, but I'm nothing if not optimistic.
Why am I starting to detect a pattern with you?
Are you saying I resemble a rug?
You know exactly what I mean.
Lilly watches anxiously as they bicker, before tugging on May's arm.
Miss? Remember what the doctor said, Lilly? You shouldn't speak if you don't need to right now.
But that's it, miss. I...
The sneeze flies past her whiskers and reverberates off the metallic walls, and the entire group freezes in place.
Oh, Lilly!
Quiet! Stay perfectly still.
Metal walls around them begin to dent from the inside as pieces are quickly torn away by the Drashiks as they leap into the hole.
Or continue to follow your instincts and run!
The doctor sprints away quickly, leaping over broken ventilation equipment and swiftly dodging the loose wires and pipes from above, his screwdriver still in hand. Everyone else does their best to follow as fast as they can.
Where are we running to? Doctor!
I'll get back to you on that one in just a moment. Come on, this way!
The doctor makes a right turn, just as a larger Drashik crashes through the ceiling, blocking his path.
Nope, not that way!
He turns back around in a hurry, toward the opposite hall. May and the children continue to straggle behind. They make their way to a large sealed door and come to an abrupt stop.
I think, yes! Here, through this door! Oh, and of course it's deadlocked! Just my luck!
The doctor glances around quickly before his eyes land on the control pad. Bounding over to it, he frantically begins entering in a random assortment of codes.
Can't you open it with your screwdriver?
Most of the time, yes. But they really did a stellar job with security around here.
They're coming!
Here, catch!
The doctor tosses his sonic over to the governess, and she catches it haphazardly.
And what exactly am I supposed to do with this?
Sonic the floor grate loose, then unscrew the pipe to let out ship fuel into the air. That'll scare away the Drashiks. Hopefully.
Why can't you?
She asks as she kneels to the floor, doing her best to try and get the screwdriver to turn on.
Because I've got a door to open.
You're not actually gonna try and guess the code.
Perfect time to delve into a new hobby. Right, think. Basic 6-digit number code. 1 to 6, maybe?
Oh, for the love of... You're not seriously wasting your time on 1 to 6, are you?
Sorry, do you have any other ideas? What's the year? The date? Maybe it changes retroactively or something.
What type of lock code changes retroactively, you lunatic?
I don't know, a clever one? Oh, most passwords are something that have meaning or context to whoever wrote them. Wait. What's the name of this ship again?
May struggles with the floor grate for another moment before popping it open. She frantically wraps her paws around the metal pipe below, pulling with all of her might as the rumble of the crunching metal grows even closer.
Oh, I think it's called the Pantheon!
As in the Roman one.
How on New Earth are we supposed to know?
You're from New Earth!
2 of us are cats, you sodding idiot!
Doctor, they're coming! Hurry!
That's classic New Earth for you, though. Always so nostalgic. There's not a city or a temple or a colony shuttle that isn't named after the original number 1.
Do you have a point?
The old Roman Pantheon was constructed by Marcus Agrippa for his grumpy old stepdad, even if they never got on after the fact. August was never really a laid-back bloke. But it was made between the years 126 128 CE! Open sesame!
As they're turning around expectantly, the doctor watches as May tugs loose the pipe from under the floor, as the younger Drashiks begin to leap right in her direction.
May, get back!
At the last moment, the governess yanks the pipe upward and out of its screws, tumbling back as the gas quickly seeps into the air, hitting the Drashik square in the nose. They drop to the ground, squirming in discomfort.
Oh, they won't be too pleased about that!
Stop staring and get a move on.
May takes Lily's hand again, quickly leading the children through the entrance as the doctor follows behind.
Quick, pass the sonic!
May points the screwdriver toward the door herself, sealing it shut quickly as the doctor watches in amazement.
Well done! Governess May, you're a natural!
I need to get my own one of these. I can see it being quite useful with the children.
May flips the screwdriver into the air toward the doctor, and he catches it.
There you go, though. Safe and sound. Quite like that, by the way. Open sesame!
May stares at him, unamused in her expression.
Or I can just never say it again.
Her attention turns to the children as they begin to wander off, looking up above to see the bright stars sitting amongst the pink sky.
Wait, we're outside?
We most certainly are! Wow. Look at that crystal. So fascinating to see it up close.
Wait, what's that thing over there? Some strange piece of cargo?
Oh, there she is! Still in one piece. Oh, thank heavens. If not a bit covered in Drashig slobber. Ugh.
Without warning, the ground begins to tremble violently around them, as several of the small Drashigs burst through the glass sea and begin slowly circling the TARDIS. Finally, the largest of them shatters into view, sending out shockwaves of sound and fear.
Get down, they don't see us yet.
The children hurry back as they duck behind a large piece of metal, wedged into the ground upon impact. May and the doctor both slowly peer their heads over the side.
Why do they care so much about that blue box?
Oh, yes! I get it! I finally get it now!
Get what?
Think. Why didn't the Drashigs finish us off already? The reason the ship hasn't been reduced to crumbs? They've got the kids to think about. The Drashigs are teaching them how to hunt, and we were the bait. That's why they don't hunt like the rest of their species. Because they were scooped up and taken here before they were able to learn from Mum and Dad. These are all just adolescent Drashigs. The biggest one, over there, she's just a teenager. Having to teach its brothers and sisters how to catch dinner through any means it possibly can, even if it didn't know how to properly itself. Orphans lost in the glass sea. Well, second best, of course.
I don't understand. Why were they taken so young then?
Whoever managed to steal them probably thought they were being clever. Catching the younger ones would be less dangerous to handle. They probably learned their lesson the hard way.
Wait, go back for a moment. That's your ship. That's a box. How are we gonna fit inside it?
Yes, big on the inside, transcendental dimensions, all that. But my question is, how are we going to get past them safely?
Yeah, it's like they're prowling it.
They can still smell everyone's scent from inside, like a big buffet. They can eat anything, but they always prefer what's fresh.
Doctor, is there no other way?
The doctor stares forward blankly, calculations and strategies running through his mind.
No, I don't think there is. When you get to the TARDIS, tell the others that I left on the fast return protocol. I always do. I should take you all to the nearest inhabitable planet. Then you need to tell Jessie, my friend, to use it again once you're all safe. It'll scan her DNA line and send her right home.
What are you talking about? Do you not pilot your own ship?
Not with what I'm about to do. Governess May, you look after those kids. And same goes for you lot. Keep your eye on her for me, eh? That's an order from your cool uncle, so you've got to do it.
Without a second thought, he grips the top of the hunk of metal with both hands, lifting himself on top as May watches on in shock. He stands above them all, eyes on the Drashigs, his cream jacket and fiery hair flowing in the breeze.
Doctor,
Hello, creatures from the depths of hell! I think I'd like a word!
The creatures all turn toward the doctor, snarling. Unfortunately, their eyes quickly fall to May and the children attempting to move from their hiding place.
What are you looking at them for? Don't you know it's rude not to pay attention when someone's talking to you? Sorry, let me crank up the volume!
He grabs a screwdriver from his pocket, lifting it into the air and activating its buzz. It sends out a high-pitched screech, irritating the creatures as they squirm and lash about in reaction. Their attention falls back to the doctor.
Don't stop! Go!
The governess grabs the hand of Lilly again, not hesitating as she pulls the chain of children toward the time machine. The doors burst forward from the inside, and Will holds them open, ushering them all to safety.
Inside, now!
Wait, where is he? Where's the doctor?
Look at you, standing there glaring me down, thinking that I'll tremble at your presence like the usual prey. I'll tell you what, lads, and please don't take this as an insult, but you don't even break the top 10 for the things I've seen. The Drashigs are some of the smartest predators in the universe, just from instinct alone. You should know every single move before I make it. But I'm the Doctor. I'm a Time Lord, with two hearts beating like an 8-year-old with a brand new drum kit. And you haven't got the slightest clue what that might mean. You've got no idea what my next move is. And I bet that absolutely petrifies you.
Will shuts the doors quickly as the last child stumbles inside, finally safe. But Jesse's mind is focused elsewhere.
What does he think he's doing? Is he an idiot? If we wait any longer, we'll be back inside one of those things.
It's Jesse, isn't it? Doctor, he gave me instructions. I don't think he intends to come back.
No, absolutely not. We aren't leaving without him. You all would still be stuck in that wreck if he didn't come here of his own free will to save you.
Jesse, listen. I understand he's your friend, but he knows the choice he's made, and I'll be damned if I let that go to waste.
Don't you dare.
What can we even do? We'll surely die if we leave those doors again.
I believe democracy is spoken, so let's leave this damn bowl of glass already.
No, damn it. Okay, this is gonna sound insane.
Jessie takes a deep breath and tilts her head up toward the ceiling. She starts to shout.
TARDIS! I know you can hear me right now. I don't know how, but you can. You showed me that today.
Am I hearing things? Is she really trying to talk to the spaceship?
Honestly, you'd be surprised.
He always talks about how much he loves you, how important you are to him. He won't even let me touch your bookshelves. And you know how many people he's saved. He does it all the time. So if you love him, if you want to help him keep saving people, please help me. He thinks he can do it all on his own, but we both know that's bogus. Please, help me help him.
Jessie desperately stares up into the ceiling, waiting for a response. Everyone else awkwardly looks away. Jessie turns around quickly as everyone's eyes jump to another growing light underneath one of the TARDIS controls. Outside, the Doctor stands above the Drashig family, slowly circling him from below. They patiently wait for the right time to strike. The Doctor watches as his TARDIS begins to dematerialize, slowly disappearing into the time vortex. Letting out a sigh, he deactivates the sonic and drops his arms. Tucking away the device in his breast pocket, the Doctor addresses the creatures one last time.
Well, have at it, boys. I've got no tricks left to pull.
The Doctor closes his eyes, awaiting his fate, before a strong gust of wind knocks him back a step or two. Opening his eyes again, he looks around at the planet's surface as it begins to ripple in the wind, as a faint, mysterious sound lights up the Doctor's expression again.
But before I go, do me a favor. You're teaching the kids to take up the family trade, yeah? Make sure to tell them about the day that the first humans and catkind in the entire history of the universe managed to escape you. Because at the end of the day, you're just another monster from under the bed. Au revoir!
The navy hue of the TARDIS slowly fades in around him, blasting the Drashigs back with another powerful gust of wind. The crew watched in surprise and amazement as the Doctor fades into view inside the TARDIS control room.
Doctor!
Right, all ready? Then back home we go.
He leaps toward the console, pressing several buttons and pulling down a lever. The TARDIS fades away right as the jaws of the largest Drashig come clamping down around it. They're finally safe. The Doctor lets out a sigh in exhaustion as Jessie embraces him with a powerful bear hug.
Ooh, a hug. Oh yes, I do love a good hug.
Have I mentioned that I hate you?
Once or twice, but I know you don't.
The Doctor waltzes out onto the futuristic sidewalk, his hands comfortably in his pockets with a satisfied grin on his face. Ken, Mel, and Will follow him out, and they all gaze up at the monolithic skyscrapers against the light blue sky, with all types of different hovering vehicles whizzing around them.
And here we are, New London Town. I have to say, I do prefer the old one. Hard to go wrong with the classics.
Any particular reason you chose to park outside the new House of Commons?
I figured you could let everyone know what happened out there. Put it on record now. Get the word out to the whole universe if you have to. That planet of the Glass Sea is home to those pesky Drashigs. Best avoid it at all costs, just to be on the safe side.
What about the Drashigs? Won't their everlasting hunger go cold turkey once they finish off the remains of the Pantheon?
Oh, I'm sure they'll make do in the end. You never know. If they live there long enough, maybe they'll devolve into something less hostile. Imagine that. A friendly species of Drashig.
We can only hope. Doctor, again, thank you for this. We'd still be digesting in those things right now if...
Oh, hush, not another word. Wasn't all down to me. That Malcom sacrificed himself to send out the SOS. He's the one who really deserves the praise. Do me a favor. Make sure that people know that. Tell his family and friends. Or maybe scribble it down on whatever plaque you can. I'm thinking maybe a big statue, right in a spot like over there. Of good old Malcom, savior of the Glass Sea.
Mel gives him an appreciative smile as she gently places a comforting hand on his shoulder.
We're on it, Doctor.
See you around, boss.
Will and Mel walk off towards the Parliament building, but Ken absentmindedly continues to stare up at the skyscrapers. Noticing his siblings walk off, he quickly addresses the Doctor.
Wait! Well, hold up! Thank you again, Mr. Doctor. Well, Mel!
I'm just glad that I don't ever have to watch anyone else play that god-awful card game ever again.
The Proctor shakes his furry head in aggravation as he follows the teens inside the building.
I think that's our cue to leave as well. Don't you think, kids?
Hey, I was told there would be jelly babies.
I'll get back to you on that one. Eat your greens first and then we'll talk. But hey, you all did great today. Every single one of you. Orphans who escaped the most vicious predators in the universe. Put that on your CV in 10 years.
Doctor, did you know
Did I know what?
that it would all play out this way? That when you took the attention of those Drashigs, when you stood atop the rubble and stared them all down without a second thought, did you know your ship would save you? Was that your plan?
Would it make me seem more clever if it was?
Most definitely not.
Then I'll let you decide.
What I talked about before, when I was trying to console Lilly here, am I correct that you were listening in as well?
Could be. I have a tendency to be rather observant.
Well, I'm going to tell you this because I know you're decent. You've risked your neck for those children today, and you clearly care quite a bit for your friend. So, please, take what I've said to heart as well. That advice doesn't apply to just kids, you know. Even time-traveling medical professionals can sometimes forget to open up to the people they care about. Wouldn't you agree?
Take care, Governess May.
May gives him a look, disappointed, before she leads the group of children out of the TARDIS. The Doctor waves to them happily, and, after a moment of reflection, closes the TARDIS doors, strolling back to the controls excitedly as Jessie watches.
All right then, got anywhere in mind for our next trip? I was thinking of stealing Ken's idea. Oh, you'd love Lennon.
Doctor, about earlier, you know I was only poking fun at you, right? I didn't mean to push you to tell me something that might have been sort of sensitive.
Oh, I know you didn't. Don't worry. It's just that...
There's something I need to ask that I just don't understand. You're like 1,000. You're the most adult person I've ever met. Why can't you even entertain the idea of discussing your love life? Or even anything specific about your past?
Jessie watches the Doctor as he does his best to avoid eye contact with her, fiddling with the console controls.
Okay, fine. Have it your way. But if you ever change your mind, I'm here.
The Doctor continues to stare at the TARDIS console, his back to Jessie. After a minute of pondering, he finally speaks up.
I apologize. It's really not you. I swear it's not. Being distant is something I've turned to in the past. A way to sort of guard the heart. But this is different. Honestly, I'd love to sit and chat with you, to tell you all about those who I've loved, all those I've lost.
The Doctor grimaces and puts his head in his hands.
It started with this regeneration. I haven't a clue what it means, but there's a part of me, and I just can't grasp it. I don't know why. It's buried, or maybe locked away. I'm getting scared to think it'll never come out.
Straightening up, the Doctor lets out a sigh, his grin still fully intact.
But I might be able to see it again, to see that part of myself. Perhaps if you were willing to help me...
The Doctor turns to face Jessie, only to realize that he had been speaking to an empty room. She had walked away long ago. Taken aback, his smile remains, but his sad eyes tell a different story.
Well, no happy ending this time, huh? Maybe things will be happier next time. Or maybe they won't. Join us on November 25th for our first legitimately terrifying episode, The Woman Under the Roof. I want to thank you guys all for watching, for giving this a listen. I want to ask you to please like, subscribe, ring that bell, and consider supporting me on Patreon. A huge thank you to all of my patrons, especially Evilly Nice Nava. That's it for this time. See you next time. Stay frosty.